Cenk was back on Cuomo Prime Time debating with Kayleigh McEnany. And during the debate, it appeared that they had a conversation about Trump's lies and racism. So how did it go, Cenk?
Yeah, first we started talking about Joe Biden's racism. And normally we come on here and go, yeah, we did awesome. But even though people were kind and a number of publications wrote about how I torched the Trump supporter and I let Biden have it, and all of that is relatively true. There were actually a couple of moments where I think I did some things wrong, and we're ridiculously honest. So we wanted to share that with you as well. So first off, I was talking about Biden and his support for working with segregationists, and here's what I said.
I think that Joe Biden has a real problem here. He keeps saying that he liked working with segregationists, not just on the Democratic side. Let's not forget that he bragged about working with Strom Thurmond, who was a deeply racist Republican who ran for president under the segregationist ticket. And so Biden's got to stop bragging about how much he likes racists.
So there's no problem with what I said there, and I think that that's true both from a policy perspective and a political perspective. God, it's such a bad idea for Biden to go around saying, man, I am so proud that I work with segregationists. Now, I get it, he didn't agree with the segregationists, we all understand that, but it's a bizarre thing to brag about especially when your base of support within the Democratic Party is largely African Americans. It's a bad idea, and policy-wise, these days, as I explained later in the segment, I don't want you working with Mitch McConnell because that's not going to get you any compromise that helps progressives.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because that's really the most important thing to take out of this whole situation, right? He keeps bragging about his ability to work with some of the most deplorable people imaginable. But here's the thing, in this day and age, bipartisanship and unity usually means that the Democrats are gonna give Republicans everything they want. Mitch McConnell has no interest in bipartisanship or unity. He will obstruct, he will do anything he can to get wins for himself and his own party. What he did to Merrick Garland is just one example of that. So we don't wanna hear about someone who's gonna go in there and play games and try to make friends. We want someone who's gonna fight.
Yeah, it's exactly the wrong strategy. Also, when he's told the donors the other day, in the same speech, hey, don't worry, nothing is gonna change at all. That is a disastrous campaign slogan. Anyway, but the part that I was wrong about, Cuomo challenged me on. So, well, we're gonna find out who was right and wrong. First, let's watch Cuomo challenging me.
If we accept your context, he didn't say he loved racists. He said that he remembered being able to work with those guys even though he didn't agree with what was going on, and it was a statement about how now nobody can work with anybody.
I definitely did not say that he loves racists. I said he loves working with people on the opposite side, including racists, and that's just a fact, because that's what he said.
Well, it's a fact that he did say that, but it's not a fact that I said that earlier in the program. So I didn't use the word love, but I did say this.
Biden's got to stop bragging about how much he likes racists.
Oops, Cuomo was right, I was wrong. Earlier in the segment, I did say that he likes racists, and he's right to call me out on that. It's not fair to say he likes racists. He kept bragging about how he likes working with racists. So score one for him, one against me there. Then it got worse. So Kayleigh McEnany, one of the things she does, and this is why the right wing likes her, is she's very aggressive. Now, I'm also very aggressive. A lot of Trump supporters are very aggressive. Not a lot of people on the left are. So they don't like that I fight back and that I won't get steamrolled. So this time around, she interrupted me way more and would not let me finish any of my thoughts. And it was deeply grating on the nerves. But it did lead me to say something I shouldn't have said, so let's watch that.
Okay, first of all, it's hilarious that she's trying to claim that she's on the side of facts when the Washington Post has Donald Trump lying over 10,000 times in 869 days. He's the pathological liar. Hey, Kayleigh, he just said the other day that he's gonna round up millions of undocumented immigrants.
Now you literally just
Kayleigh,
said,
let me
defend your
finish.
statement.
Let me finish.
You literally
Hush
said
up.
paychecks are not going up. Defend that.
You love to
hold on. Nobody hushes anybody on the show.
You love to filibuster.
Don't tell me to hush.
Hold on, guys.
Yeah, so I hate when that happens. And so, number one, I don't like when we talk over each other, but when she or anyone,
you.
Yeah,
right.
Just doesn't let you finish their point. So you only have two options. One is all right, okay, if you're gonna talk over me, I'm gonna talk over you. Or the other option, which is what Democrats have done for the last 40 years on television, surrender.
That's right.
Right,
yeah.
and go just let her talk over you, not let you finish your point, do the squirrel move, she did it again. So I'm talking about the 10,000 lies that Donald Trump told, and she goes, what about paychecks? She doesn't even want you to finish the fact that he told 10,000 lies in 869 days. She doesn't want that coming out,
right.
So she just brazenly interrupts. But I shouldn't have said hush up.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, right? And you're in this unwinnable situation because if you speak over her as she's trying to interrupt you, are people gonna be able to hear the point that you're trying to make? And so it's frustrating. And this is what I don't understand, right? And not to be too hard on the producers, but when that happens, I don't understand why they don't just go to your one shot and lower her mic until you finish your point.
Yeah, that's really hard to do.
Is it though?
I think it is.
Because then all you have is a one-sided argument because one side is gonna play this dirty trick where they interrupt you while you're making a good point.
No, I think we try to do it here, but sometimes Republicans don't listen to that either. Now, 99% of the times, even conservatives that we have on, since especially because we have more time than TV, we let them talk, we go back and forth, we make it clear with them, no filibustering and no interrupting.
Right.
And so setting it up ahead of time is better. But even so, sometimes Republicans go, I don't care, I'm just never gonna stop talking.
That's right.
And one of the guys who famously did that on the Young Turks was David Duke. He just would not shut up. So I told him to shut up several times. There was one other guy, Sekelo, who did it long time ago. That was actually in Mad as Hell. That's the movie made about us. I want to show you that clip because it relates to what I shouldn't have said. So this is a long time ago now, about 7 years ago, where Anna and I had this debate after one of the shows where I told one of our guests, the Republican, to shut up. Watch.
That guy needed a tall glass of shut up juice.
That's even in the promo for Mad as Hell. Now, the reason, part of the reason I play you that is because some people are like, oh my God, you said it to a woman. Now, there's nuance to that, right? Number one, as you can tell in that clip, believe me, I've said it to guys. and it's on the same exact issue. If you don't let somebody finish their thought, it's unacceptable, okay? But as progressives, we have to be better than that because some words are problematic for the history that they have, even if you use them in a way that is not at all discriminatory in that case or in that context. And as you can tell, and you guys have seen me, I've done it to men, women, it doesn't matter. And in fact, I think it's arguably a little patronizing to say you can't do it to a woman, but you can do it to a man. Kayleigh McEnany is, whether you like her or not, is a strong fighter for her side. I don't want to patronize her by saying, well, I'm gonna be more delicate with her because she's a woman. On the other hand, it does have a history, and that's why you shouldn't use it.
Right, I mean, women for a very long time in America were not included or were not even allowed to be part of a political discussion, right? I mean, think about women's suffrage, like we had to fight just for the right to vote. And so, yeah, I mean, if you think about the country's history, a man telling a woman in the middle of a political discussion to hush up doesn't look good. And I actually give you a lot of credit for recognizing that.
And by the way, no one else in the media has brought this up. We're bringing it up on our own because I always want to correct anything we do wrong, even if it doesn't quote unquote get us in trouble or anything along those lines. And you might be able to say boy to a white guy, but you shouldn't say it to a black guy. So context matters, right? And you follow the money, is perfectly acceptable when it comes to lobbyists, consultants, etc. When you use it in the context of Jewish Americans, you should be more careful about that. So in this context, I think I made a mistake there, even though she was deeply annoying. But you can't let that get to you. So now at the end, we were about to wrap up the segment. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna get steamrolled. I'm at least going to go back substantively to what I was trying to ask her and challenge her on. So I said this at that.
Kayleigh, will you come on here and agree that if in 6 months he hasn't rounded up millions of undocumented immigrants, that you were wrong and I was right and that Trump's a liar?
Okay, then Cuomo says we gotta wrap it up. But the reason I wanted to challenge her on that is Trump just said, as I was trying to say initially, that he's gonna round up millions of undocumented immigrants. We all know that it's a campaign rhetoric and we know he's not gonna do it and we know he's lying. And the context of the conversation was how much Trump lies. So I know that she's not gonna come out and apologize when he doesn't do it. And of course he's not gonna do it, of course it's a lie, right? And that's why she didn't want to let me finish the thought because there is no good answer to that.